Hello, this is Brak. I never listened to the Cartridge and Quest podcast. I don't even know the name of it. And if I were to listen to it, it would be pure torture. So suck it. I'm going to potty now.
The following podcast is rated N for nostalgia. It contains strong language, heavy retro references, and will spontaneously unlock core memories. Viewer discretion is advised. Now hang on for a trip back to the 90s with Cartridge and Quest.
We did this Space Ghost segment on the Cartridge and Quest podcast a couple weeks ago, and we messed some stuff up. And we had some people telling us that, oh, that wasn't right. We didn't do that right. And so we have somebody on the podcast today that wants to tell us actually what happened in Space Ghost, and it's freaking Brak. So welcome, Brak, to the Cartridge and Quest podcast.
I love your podcast so much.
I don't believe that for a second.
I bet you haven't watched one episode, Brak.
No, we're not doing that. Have a nice day.
So, Brak, I have a question. What is your favorite protein?
You're putting me in a corner because you want me to say beans.
I did want you to say beans, and you said beans. What's your favorite kind of bean?
Man, I have to contort my... Hold on. Let me try and move the camera. So, is that better?
Perfect. Yes, it's great.
It's hurting my arm. I don't know what it's doing.
We don't want your arm hurting.
I can only do this so long.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. Just stop moving your mouth. Just keep moving your mouth. They'll ignore you like they did Henson.
I still think about that song with the cake being left in the rain. That's wild. It's odd through like everything that stuck up my childhood. Like that's it.
Well, I was gonna eat that cake.
Yeah.
And it got all wet, and now I didn't want any.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here to tell you suck.
Yes.
And that you got your facts wrong.
We did. So what was the actual story?
About what?
How did you guys get the interviews with these people and then splice it together with Space Ghost and you, and like how did that actually happen? Because what I said happened is weird college kids interviewed these people dressed up as Space Ghost and asked them questions.
He just left.
I had to put them away because it was twisting my arm. I don't know what I was contorting my arm working. I don't know. I don't usually have to do that. Anyway, no, it wasn't college kids. You made it sound like we hired college kids and they made up all the questions for the guests we had, and that wasn't right. We would hire at first. I guess we would hire some local actors when we couldn't put. Initially, I put the suit on and interviewed.
Okay.
A few guests, but it proved to be humiliating. And so, because I did Susan Powder, I interviewed Susan Powder, the fitness guru.
Yeah.
And I was asking her questions like, what do you think of my physique? And I'm just this, kind of fat kid in a spandex and stupid. So that was me at first. And then we would hire actors, but they would have to and they would dress as a Space Ghost, and they would have to go by the questions that we asked. And I think it was too off-putting for the guests to have him sitting there. It was kind of distracting. So
yeah,
it kind of ended up, we only did, I don't know, I want to say 10 interviews like that, maybe less. Most of the time we would tape a picture of Space Ghost at the side of the camera where we wanted them to look, because they always had to look off camera because it didn't look right if they were looking directly into camera.
Right.
Because they weren't looking at Space Ghost. So we would have them answer the questions to the Space Ghost at the side of the camera. Why are you zooming? Oh, I used the stupid. Oh God, unzoom.
It's an
Unzoom.
Apple,
What
isn't
the
it?
fucking
I
hell?
swear.
Anyway, I can't I gotta sit back now. Anyway, Jesus, technical pieces of shit.
We've never had technical difficulties on our podcast, so it's fine. I mean,
Anyway, yeah, we would put Space Ghost at the side of the camera, and they would have to just look at the picture, and we would talk to them in an earpiece over the phone.
Oh, so you weren't even actually with them?
Not usually, because they were usually in LA or wherever, New York, and we were in Atlanta. Occasionally we would be in the same place at the same time. So if anybody were, like any artists were coming through Atlanta or something, we would have the same setup, only we would have Dave Willis, kind of standing off camera, and talking to them.
It just
So
random. Like some of the answers they come up with, or it seems like they're not paying attention, or I don't know.
No, we did that on purpose. We had basic interview questions, and the guests that actually got it,
they played along,
knew what they were in for, so they played along a lot better. So we had Bob and Dave, Bob Odenkirk, Kurt and David Cross together, and they were totally into being on the show, so they knew what we were doing, and they played along with, don't zap me and stuff like that. Merrill Marco always was a great team player. Donny Osmond was really excited to be on the show, and most guests knew we were going to take. Well, not most. Some of the guests knew we were going to take the interview out of context.
Just liberties to do whatever you want.
So how did that? How did that happen?
We did that anyway.
How were you guys able to make that work? Like, did they just sign a release form and then you could do whatever you want with it?
Pretty much, yeah. And we didn't do that. They would sign a release form and we could do whatever we wanted with it. But at the beginning of the show, we thought we had ethics and thought we should stick with the interviews the way they were.
Yeah.
Which we mostly did. And then we realized it wasn't that. It was funnier if we wrote the interview into the show instead of writing the show around the interview.
Yeah.
So that's where all of the awkwardness and the pregnant pauses, and a lot of that goes to the editing too. So
for sure.
Yeah, so our editor kind of helped. Michael Cahill, yeah, he's the one that kind of added like pregnant pauses and stuff like that. And the thing about working on that show is that you learn that comedy can turn on just a fraction of a second. So there are 30 frames per second in video, and so a joke can be funny, but if whatever the punchline or whatever happens 2 frames later, it's not funny, or 2 frames earlier, it's not funny.
Yeah.
So it's a weird finicky thing.
Especially in animation, that's got to be even harder because every frame is drawn. So you have to be so perspective.
Well, not with us. Well, with traditional animation, yeah, but we kind of, it was kind of like a puppet show with us, because we only had a certain amount of footage to use. And it was easier years later when I revived Cartoon Planet in 2012. The editing was so much more technologically advanced. It wouldn't take 6 weeks to do a batch of Cartoon Planet. It would take like 3 days.
It took 6 weeks to do that before?
To do a traditional Space Ghost episode or to do a batch of Cartoon Planet, it would take 6 weeks, because you had to jump through more hoops. You had to go through. We edited everything on Avid, and then Avid was not broadcast ready video, so you would have to edit everything on Avid, take everything that was programmed into Avid, and then take it over to where we would do the post-production, which was Crawford Post, where we had all of the physical tapes of everything. And it would just be an 8-hour session or however long session of just putting in the program and having it running all the tapes and stuff like that. It was
Crazy.
If you did it now,
That's
it'd be
insane.
just like a kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean,
now
today
it's
you would
just
just
like
have to
you
take all
almost-
that stuff, digitize it, and OCR it, and then just figure out what you wanted and then cut it up, right? Like,
Yeah, it's now, even though it takes like 3 days, it feels like instant gratification.
Yeah, I bet.
Because you can just like edit it and throw it on the air immediately. Well, we didn't have that luxury back then. Even with Cartoon Planet, when we were writing and editing, and it seems like we were throwing everything on the air as soon as it was done without going through S&P or anything like that. Space Ghost was different because it was a little more adult. Cartoon Planet was its own thing because
it was
Pete
meant
and
for
I
kids,
knew,
kind of, right?
right, and Pete Smith and I knew the boundaries of what we could and couldn't do or say for Cartoon Planet. So we would stick to those boundaries, and we pretty much were safe with throwing stuff on air. We never said crap on Cartoon Planet, but we would say crap all the time on Space Ghost.
Right.
Up until the head of the network came in and said, "You got to stop saying crap because that's now all my kids will say." So
since we're kind of like screwing some stuff up here, and that's initially what got this started, is there anything that maybe people ask you? Is there like a fact or something that like no one gets right that you like want to like set the story straight here?
I think I'd pretty much set the story straight. Pretty much. It's just I get, and I'm glad you guys didn't do this, but I'm getting tired of every once in a while I'll still see another posting a story about how I work for Amazon.
I've seen that on the internet. I have seen that on the internet.
I did that, because there was nothing else to do, and I had to make money. So I was a delivery driver for Amazon, and I did that for like 2 years. I did it for 2 years. It was a crappy job that I didn't mind it. I got bit by dogs.
Yeah,
I got bit by this one dog I really liked. Yeah, there was a really nice Great Dane at this one house, and it was really friendly and all that. And then some other Amazon driver just did something horrible to it, I guess, and it didn't like people in blue shirts anymore. So it took a big chunk. It bit me in the arm really hard. I fended it off and was
not
swearing at it. And then I realized, no, it was the sun. It was, I realized I was screaming and swearing at it in front of this 8-year-old.
Oh no.
And the mother came out and got the dog, and she was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "I'm sorry. I think I taught your son some words." And she was like, "No, he has a 16-year-old brother, so he knows words."
Did you at least do it in a cool voice for him?
So like, I don't know, 10 minutes later, I went and I took a picture of it while I was in my truck, pointing at it like this fucking thing. And then, I don't know, like 3 days later, I saw that it had 17 million views. And I thought, oh,
really?
I'm so fired. And I didn't get fired because I was one of their better drivers. And, but it got me, I don't know, 45,000 more followers on.
There you go.
The crappy place on X at the time. And I don't know if these people saw this story or whatever, but
it's there. I think it's on your Wikipedia page that you still work at Amazon, so you should try to change that.
You know how hard it is to change your own Wikipedia page?
Probably. Yeah, probably really hard.
For the longest time, they said I was Andy Robert Merrill, and that was wrong.
What is?
And it took
How do you
somebody
actually? What
else
is
to
your middle
go
name?
on and change it. I'm not going to say that.
Oh, okay.
What's your social?
Yeah. What's your social security number too? While
Yeah,
you're
let
at
me
it.
give you that and my mom's maiden name.
Right. Okay. Fair. So with
Let me give you
with
my daughter's name too, so you can all look her up.
with Space Ghost being an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, how many like old school Hanna-Barbera people did you guys piss off doing the new stuff?
No, but I think we just pissed off Alex Toth because he wasn't happy with us growing with his baby.
Yeah.
He was the only one. Yeah, Seibert was all excited about it. Fred Seibert ran Hanna-Barbera at the time. Yeah, everybody, really was excited about it at the time. And the weird thing is that, when you're down and out and the 30th anniversary happens, I didn't realize there was so much Brak on the air as it was at the time, which was crazy, because I would see like YouTube videos of basically everything that he's ever been in and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just dominated the air for quite a while. Around 1996 or 1997, it's like everybody in on-air promotions wanted to have him do spots and stuff, and he was always in the interstitial pieces like the Stay Longers, which is a Survivor parody, and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So it's just weird. And I did stuff for Copatoon on Cartoon Network Latin America, which was surrounded like the big football championship in Latin America, soccer to us.
And Aqua Teen as well.
I did stuff for UK. I met some nice people over at at Cartoon Network UK back when Peter Serafinowicz, sister Helen, was working at Cartoon Network at the time, and so I'm really proud of her. She's won like a bunch of BAFTAs on a bunch of a bunch of sitcoms she's created for BBC and stuff like that. So yeah, we still communicate. But yeah, it's weird. He was so popular back in the day. It's
I had a question though. Like legit, like how did you come up with some of these? I love beans, don't touch me, left my cake in the rain. Like, were you just sitting around just goofing off at home or what?
Some of them, half of them were written by Pete Smith. Some of them were written like What Happened to the Water. That was written by Nora Smith, who works for Bob's Burgers and created a bunch of different shows for Apple and stuff like that. And Nora was Pete's teenage daughter at the time. But
she was writing stuff for the show as a teenager.
As a teenager, yeah, still in high school, she helped write the rapping episode of the Brak Show with MC Chris. She and MC Chris wrote the raps for that. She was in college at the time, I think. But yeah, half the songs were written by Pete Smith and composed by Eddie Horst, and the other stuff was we would have 2 hours of an hour and a half of audio time once a week for Cartoon Planet back in the 90s. And we would finish the scripts really quickly and have like all this downtime. So we would have just this extra studio time. So I would get needle drop music and just go in and just make up stuff at the top of my head. Dave Willis said that, what was it? It was bologna sandwich. No, it was driving down highway. It was Don't Touch Me and Highway 40 were in the same session. And Dave had just started working with us and said it was amazing that I just went in and just did that shit, and came out like, what are you looking at? What happened?
Did you guys ever film anything that you were just like, oh, I'm absolutely getting fired tomorrow?
No, because we knew the boundaries. We knew our boundaries.
Yeah.
Plus, you really couldn't get anything past.
Even if
Lazo.
you did it and sent it, it's like, no, you can't do that. So in the story, right?
We were at a time where it took weeks to get things done. So it wasn't like, TikTok where you just make a video and throw it
Film
up
it and hit send.
People say, oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I did when I recorded for Jellystone a couple years ago. I was so excited that I recorded Brak again that I posted that day, hey, I just recorded Brak for Jellystone. I just immediately got a call from my agent saying, you need to take that down. That was supposed to be a secret. So I'm terrible at keeping secrets.
That's funny. So being a voice actor and screaming as Brak and Aqua Teen people and from Kith and you've done so much stuff. Like, how does your voice handle that? Like, is it just natural? Does it hurt afterwards? Like, I can't even tie my shoes when I'm 41 without like pulling my groin. So,
well, I had to change Brak's voice because all he was doing is yelling in monotone. Hi, my name is Brak, and I only lasted maybe 20 minutes in the studio doing that. And so I kind of changed his voice to what he is now, you stupid dummy. That kind of thing.
It's better though.
I think I rag my voice out quickly when I'm doing Oglethorpe for Aqua Teen Hunger Force, because I tend to just come out of the gate screaming, and Matt and Dave always have to say, "No, he's not screaming here. You have to build up to." Do
you have a little bit of that? Can you do some of that?
I usually come out like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's just like yelling as loud as I can. You're stupid and dumb. And they're like, save it. Just save it. And so nothing really gets me raspy. The one I'm doing now for Kith, Fun Uncle Pat, is the closest thing to my own voice. Although I kind of maybe been a little drunk and give him a stuffy nose. So he kind of talks like this. You have a really nice place, dear. So I kind of just like, it's just me, but I slur it and I like give him a.
It's kind of like those late night TikToks
nose.
that you have sometimes where it's just, you're a little bit inebriated.
That and what was it? I was making fun of Good Morning America, hyping Devil Wears Prada 2. Devil Wears Prada 2 on Good Morning America. That kind of stupid voice.
See, I feel like if I could do voices, I would never fucking stop. Like, it'd just be like a drunk tirade of just weird shit coming out of my mouth.
I would like to do more, but it's such a screwed up time in entertainment right now that it sucks. But other than that,
just get on as like a rated R Brak and just do like a podcast, but it's just Brak and you're just talking shit and just going crazy. Like that would be the greatest thing.
When I did a bunch of stuff for Adult Swim last summer or the summer before that, they brought back Cartoon Planet for Checkered Past, it was called. It's that time between Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. So they were playing Cartoon Planet, so they thought they'd have the Brak puppet on. And we were going to do a bunch of stuff. We were going to do like a bunch of pieces, and at least they led me to believe that. And then when I was done with 12 of them, they were like, "We're done." And then they just aired them ad nauseum, and it was like, you're wearing it out.
Yeah, like we could have had so many of these things.
oh, they screwed me again. So I just decided to post the some of the outtakes. But I do a whole thing with Brak wearing a hot dog costume saying I'm a wiener. And then like through the whole thing, it was like the best take. And then I noticed in the background that there were these people walking by in the background, like way off in the background. Like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck it. So I posted that. And then people were like, I'd never heard him say that word before.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you kind of have carte blanche over Brak? Like, can you do whatever you want at this point with Brak? Or is it kind of locked down
I can't. Well, I don't know.
Only one.
Mostly I make cameo videos with him now.
Yeah.
And
those are private, so you can do whatever you want there.
Yeah, I usually do whatever I want. If I'm
Brak has an open invitation to the Cartridge Quest podcast. Anytime he wants to come on and say something new, you let us know, and he can do whatever he wants here.
I'd watch that show.
Well, one thing is when I'm doing signings at Comic-Con, I'll usually do it with Oglethorpe. But if a friend is getting a picture signed for a friend who's not there, I'll ask if I can be profane.
Yeah.
And I'll just write all over the picture. Fuck you for not being here. You hurt my feelings and stuff like that. Oglethorpe, I don't know any of his lines except for it's called the Fargate. We're not getting sued. I give people the option to either give me one of his lines to write on the picture, or I can look up the foulest thing that's in my head.
Yeah.
And
it
write
feels
it
like
German.
He's almost like just a drunk version of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I was the second person they brought in for Oglethorpe.
Really?
The first one wasn't working.
It was
out.
Schwarzenegger was the first?
No. I don't know what he was before, but they didn't like it. And so I went in and I was like, what if Hitler were stupid? And then
That's awesome.
It's great. Not as funny anymore because we elected him.
Yeah, kind of.
But now it's just like, hey, you don't know what you're doing. It's like, yeah, it's very inspired by Schwarzenegger, but it's mostly a guy who thinks he can control everything, but he never knows what the hell he's doing. So,
yeah, that's me. Sure. I mean, on our podcast, I think I can do anything I want. I don't know anything at all. Apparently,
it's true.
So when did you feel the shift from kids to like 20-something college kids eating Taco Bell at 3 a.m.? Like, when was that shift? Just Cartoon Planet to Adult Swim, or
I don't think there was a shift. I don't think, we didn't make Cartoon Planet for kids.
Really?
But, it hit really hard we made it for whoever. We made it, and Space Ghost too. We made both of those shows not for any specific demographic. It was made basically to amuse ourselves, I think.
Yeah.
That's what makes it. That's kind of, what they did at Termite Terrace and stuff. They didn't make stuff for kids or any demographic. They were like, here's what we think's funny, and they would just, throw in a Fibber McGee joke.
Somebody else will
like
think
that.
It's funny if you think it's funny. I mean, there's at least two people who will think it's
and
funny.
So another thing is we tried to keep everything timeless. We never tried to do anything, up to the minute jokes at the time. We never joked on society or anything like that.
My favorite thing that Brak did, I think, is when Space Ghost is just blasting the crap at, why am I blanking on his name? Zorax. And yes, when he's just blasting the crap out of him, and then he breaks the fourth wall, Brak does, and he's like, he wishes he could blast me, but I'm not animated to do that. And it's just like, it just totally encapsulated everything that show was, because you
funny
didn't
thing
have the
about it
animation,
is
so there's no way.
we didn't have the animation to make him explode.
Yeah.
So that was the truth, and not. It was also a joke, but it was more of a truth.
Man, but he can't. You know why? 'Cause I'm not animated to explode. That's right, right?
Right.
It goes blasting one arrow, my pretty little head. He would get in big trouble. Am I right or 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 am I right?
Right.
And you know what else?
What?
Chicken butt. Ah! Oh, man.
You know what? It's like
Fuck
we
these nerds.
we got one of our childhood heroes to come join the podcast because we got something wrong. So whatever, right?
It worked. You got me.
It did. There he is.
You
I'm gonna keep
bastards.
rage baiting people. That's incredible.
Fisticuffs.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. It's seriously, it's surreal. Like that was the only reason I watched Space Ghost was to try to catch some Brak. So this was amazing.
That's what I hear people say, but I think they're just blowing smoke up my butt.
No, dude, I'm telling you, kids from the 90s, that whole thing, that whole scene is just stuck in our brains so much because it really did like just have an impact on the way that we do comedy today. Like the way that we laugh at things and just the nonsense that we laugh at is because of what you guys did, and you trained us the right way to laugh at the right stuff.
You got us all jacked up, and it's just been downhill from here. So all the
I
6-7
think,
shit kind of,
you know, comedy wise, and I still do this now when I go on stage, I'll just go out and pull stuff out of my ass. And that's, you know,
That's the best
all
stuff,
I did.
man.
And people are like, I can't believe he said that. It's just like you never feel fear of feeling stupid. And I think that's important. You just got to get out of your shell, which it took me a while to do that, especially like if I perform by myself without a microphone, without, you know, the guise of being a voice actor or a puppeteer or anything like that. I still hide behind a ukulele, but just to get up in front of people and to stop having shame, I think that was kind of an epiphany in my
so many
career
people deal
life.
with that, and that's crazy to hear somebody that's done so many awesome things like Brak and Oglethorpe and just all the things that you've done, like to also hear somebody that has done that stuff say that they have that fear and they had to get over it. So many people deal with that, and it's like,
I took,
just do the thing.
I took there was a while where I was bombing because I cared too much about what the audience thought. And so I was in LA at the time. I took like a couple improv classes at the Groundlings, and it helped me sink on my feet and make up stuff in situations where I would just panic normally. And so I think I learned to stop panicking, use silence for comedy and stuff like that. And it's really helped me a lot. So
yeah, the being able to be silent and just let people take in what you just said and then laugh about it and not be nervous is one of the hardest things ever. Like that is
it's really
so hard to do.
It's really hard because I would go joke because I didn't want to give them a moment to think, because silence would get in my head and drive me crazy. So, you know, once you can say something that is thoughtful and truly funny, you want the audience to kind of digest it for a second. But
Yeah,
then
you
if
have
I
to be able
bomb,
to at least think about it.
if I start, yeah. And if I start bombing, I'll, start doing some inane, stupid song that should never
Can
be
you
played
feel
on
that
the
pretty
ukulele.
instantly, or does it take a minute?
What if I'm bombing?
Yeah.
No, I can hear it instantly. So then I'll just go 3, 6, 9. Damn, G5. Just start doing.
Yeah.
To the window.
It almost feels
To
like
the
the cheat
wall.
code.
Till the sweat gets down my ball. and that usually kind of brings them back.
Dude, you have the ultimate cheat code. You have a ukulele and you have Brak's voice. Like that, any bomb joke is just like you can turn that around in an instant.
I posted it. I did live band karaoke in San Diego a couple months ago, and I wrote, my name parentheses Brak, and they didn't introduce me that way. They just introduced me. They said, "Here's Andy. He's gonna sing this song." It was "Creep" by Radiohead.
Oh,
and I just went full on Brak for it, just to test the.
Who knows?
And it was a full bar, and you would see people get it, but it was in it was a delay, I'm like, "You're here before, we look you in the eye," and you just see people just kind of turn and just be like, "What?" And so that was.
I remember that.
Really cool. That was cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dude, I would have flipped. If I would have been at a bar and Brak was on stage and you started doing, I would have freaked out. Like I would have been up there moshing at the front of the stage.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if people recognize me now more that I, started posting songs and stuff online, but I don't know. It was fun. It's fun to see like people, the realization in people's eyes once they get it.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you got? You got anything coming up that's fun, or anything you want to talk about that we can help you promote?
No, I was just in Atlanta doing some on-camera stuff, and I can't talk about that.
If you want to accidentally drop that on the Cartridge Quest podcast to get us go viral, that would be awesome. But I mean, it's up to you.
No, I can't talk about it. Somebody's already messed up and mentioned it online, and
then it's fine.
It's hurt some feelings that they weren't included. I'm kind of in the middle of. I think they're about to ramp up doing KIF season 4 soon.
You did another Disney show. What?
I did Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls, yeah. My kids love that. Yeah, dude. It's so fun.
I did the last 3 episodes.
Teeth, right?
I was Teeth. The funny thing is like my peak was like 3 episodes. So I've done 4 episodes of KIF.
That's 3 more episodes of Disney TV than I've done. So
I know. I've done 2 of them have aired. There's one in season 1, one in season 2. There's 2 coming up in season 3.
Awesome.
And they said they wanted to work with the character more, so I'll probably be in a lot more in season 4. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm kind of in between things right now. I was just I did like 2 cons and a cruise all through April. So that was
what cruise
crazy.
were you on?
It was the JoCo
Not the
Cruise.
Hannavirus cruise.
No. Yeah, no. Maybe it was. No, I did the JoCo. No, I did the JoCo Cruise, which is like sci-fi comedians.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, look it up. It's pretty cool. They're doing it in February next year. But I did come home with the cruise crud. I'd never been on a cruise before. And then I got home, and I don't think I've ever shit so much in my life.
You just ate too much because it's all free food.
No, it was all free food, but just vomiting and shitting and.
Did you have the drink package, Andy? Is that why?
No, I was a VIP. I could have a drink whenever.
Oh, you got everything then. Heck yeah.
So I was. Yeah, they. I was given the cruise at the last minute. I was a guest. Because somebody backed out, and so
I want to be next in line for
Thursday
to be on the cruise. That sounds amazing.
The Thursday before the cruise, they said, "Oh, we got you a couple things to do. You can do it. Like there's a panel, there's this other thing that you'll do on one night. Oh, and Friday, the last Friday of the cruise, we're going to give you a 45-minute set.
Oh, geez.
It's like, oh, okay.
Wasn't ready for that.
Maybe you've done 20 minutes, but So I think the entire
Let
cruise
me find my
was
puppet
me.
and my ukulele and see if I can make this work.
I did have the puppet. The whole cruise for me was trying to get my voice back because I had lost it, and then B, trying to come up with a set, and I did 52 minutes. So
52? They didn't pull you off the stage with a hook?
No, I did a lot of covers, and then I did about 7 Brak songs. I tried to do a song from each show. I don't know if I covered the Brak show. That wasn't very musical. I say it wasn't very musical. It was. Most of it was.
I mean, you definitely did Beans and Metalhead, and what else did you do?
I didn't do Metalhead. I did I Love Beans, but I did I Love Beans to the tune of In the Air Tonight because it just works.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
I started out with My Heart Will Go On because I had to do the Titanic song on a
Yeah,
cruise.
you're on a ship. I mean, that doesn't scare anyone at all, I bet.
The scary part of that song is that there's a key change, and when normal song key changes go up either a half step or a whole step, this went up 2.5 steps.
Oh shit!
So I'm like, I had to think before I sang.
Yeah, what does that
sound
like?
I will go on. Yeah. Stupid. And then I did 7 Brak songs. I did a bunch from Brak Presents the Brak Show starring Brak.
That's awesome.
Because I always do Magic Toenail as a medley with some of the saddest songs I can find. So I start with What Was I Made For, Billie Eilish. Then I go into Magic Toenail, and then I end with Fix You by Coldplay.
That sounds awesome.
And then everything else was I Got You Under My Drawers was one. I don't even think that was on Brak Presents the Brak Show. I think that was just an extra on the CD. We never got to animate that one. And there was another one that I did for 2012 Cartoon Planet that we never got to produce. So I kind of claim that song as mine. But I do that one all the time because it always does really well. It's called Alvin Harris is a Big Old Man. And the chorus is just Alvin Harris is a big old man, sung like 4 times. Yep. And then there's no verse. It just goes into a little essay on what he does because he's big. So it's like Alvin Harris went to the bus depot and he was the only one that could ride the bus. And it's just a testament of how big he is. It's online. There's a couple versions online. You can find.
You're going to have to look it up.
Alvin Harris is a big old man.
That one I made awesome.
Up. That one I made up in the studio. It was for Cartoon Planet. I had my ukulele. We didn't have Eddie anymore because he was gone. So I had to do all of the songs either needle drop or on my uke, and so Alvin Harris was done on the uke, just pulling it out of my butt, and so then I found a recording of it and just wrote it all down, and so that's what I performed most of the time when I do like a real show. So
I have to say I'm a little upset. I literally just looked on Spotify, and there's no Brak. I feel like Brak needs to be on Spotify.
I'm not on Spotify. I'm on YouTube a lot. Yeah, I'm not on Spotify. There's one song that might be on Apple Music, and that's what I did for Dr. Demento Covered in Punk. I did a cover of Institutionalized. I just did Dr. Demento Covered in Punk 2 in New York last August. So I did a couple songs for that every time I say what songs I did, I get yelled at for mentioning it. So those are a secret. So yeah, I want to share those songs, but my music guy will send me a sample on Dropbox, and I'll have 2 weeks to listen to it before he destroys it. So, because he knows
Jeez.
that he knows I'll show it to people.
We would hate it if you told us that and we could like break that news, but apparently
Well,
that's
I
not going to
also
happen.
do a song intro with a certain 70s celebrity that I can't talk about either. So
Gosh,
I heard he was going to be on the album.
All the
I heard he was
non-dirt
going to
today.
be on the album, and I just got really excited. I was like, oh. And I wrote this whole like piece between him and Brak.
I mean, if you ever get the hair to just write the Cartridge and Quest theme song in Brak's voice, we would not be mad at you. And you also, like I said, anytime you want to come on here as Andy or Brak, you have full reign to come talk. Oh man,
I've been baking a lot.
Have...
I don't know if you follow me on Blue Sky, but
I just made a
fruit of the forest pie. I bought a pie at some market, and I made it, and it was like frozen, and I thought it would be good, but it was bullshit. So this is
Hey, so with that being said, yeah,
that's
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm a chef.
He's a chef.
I work on Food Network. I was named one of the top 10 cooks in America. Got to go like hang out with some cool people, do some fun stuff. So if you ever want to do some food stuff, let me know. I'd love to hang out.
Andy, I'm hearing you have a couple of passions. You
once
like
I moved,
voice acting,
and I cook a lot.
You like music. You like baking and cooking. What is your biggest passion?
Well, now I just moved into a new house in townhouse in Nashville, and I actually have a kitchen. The place I lived in before was built in 1925 or something like that. So the kitchen was just minimal and small, and I had no room to do anything. So now I have just this kitchen that's about 3 or 4 times the size as what I had before. So I'm just like cooking like crazy. So that's kind of what I'm passionate about right now. But
it seems like you made Mike mad.
I don't know.
So
I love writing. I would love
call.
to like write and sell stuff, but it's so hard right now. And
like write a book, write a music, write
anything.
What?
Yeah, book, comics, TV, anything. But it's just so hard
I feel like Brak comics, 90s kids. This 90s thing is seriously like coming back super hard right now. I feel like a Brak comic book would kill.
Well, I'm close to the current writer of Space Ghost comics. And at first people were kind of like dogging him because he was doing a straight up David Pepose. He was doing a straight up action comic. And people were like giving him shit about it. And
using
I'm like,
Space Ghost.
And I'm like, you know what? If I wrote a Space Ghost comics, that's exactly what I would do. I wouldn't do. Sure, there'd be some kind of maybe a few humorous lines here and there, but I would have gone straight up action.
You think so? Because I don't feel like anybody nowadays even knows that was even a real comic. Like that was even a real cartoon. Like it feels like
no, but that's
you
what
guys
it was.
Made it popular.
That's what it was to me. And it still is to me. It's like Space Ghost is an action cartoon. And so, I tried to do kind of like a reboot of an action comedy series for like the 25th anniversary, and it was kind of turned down flat.
That sucks.
But it was gonna be basically the Cartoon Planet Space Ghost humor in an action series.
I just feel like that would kill today. Like I seriously do. There's so many people. Anytime we mention, like I had tons of people besides you telling me that I got that stuff wrong in that, and that we had just lots of comments on people just saying they loved all the stuff you guys did. That's crazy that it doesn't have any traction.
One thing I really hate seeing now, I'm glad you guys didn't do it, is the people that get on going, who who remembers this? Who remembers Space Ghost? And that's always just an insult to me, because I will always comment to those people saying, everybody does.
Yeah, we all remember it. Now let's just
It's
talk
like
about
they
what
talk
we
about
remember.
it like it's forgotten, and it's not forgotten.
It's not forgotten at all.
So I don't know. That always irks me.
The reason that people do that is because that's what TikTok and Instagram push, is people saying, "Who remembers? Do you remember?" Well, people think they're going to get views for that.
Shit.
It is.
I hate that.
And it's
and
like,
I always,
that's not.
Now I just try and make fun of influencers and podcasters. I get sick of people holding a microphone with their camera, with their phone in their bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like, just, your camera has a front-facing camera on it.
Right. It's not as good, but it's okay.
It's getting better. That's all I use. I always use the front-facing camera so I can see what the hell I'm doing. So,
well, you have an iPhone 17 Max, so of course you can. Not everybody has that.
Well, I know, but it doesn't.
Money.
You got that Brak money. That's right.
Amazon.
Well, I work for a company. I work for a company that markets stuffed animals, and they want me to go out. They're basically wanting me to go out in the field and shoot their products like I would shoot Brak. So I just go out a few days a month, and I will, make up characters with their stuffed animals.
Oh, that's fun.
In the woods or whatever. The one that's doing really well now is called Grandma Wolf, and it's just this cute stuffed wolf dressed as a grandma. And so I'll just go on and say, "Hello, kiddies. I'm going to tell you a story." And she's just sitting in a rocking chair telling fairy tales and nursery rhymes from her point of view, and it's always warped and stupid. I'm not marketing to kids so she can say anything. So she's like,
that's awesome,
telling the story of the three billy goats gruff. And finally, the big billy goat goes over the bridge and faces the troll. And the troll says, "I'm going to eat you." And so the third goat kicked his ass. How she just kicked his ass all over the city and stuff. So
that's hilarious.
It's really fun. But I need, I'm like one of their main voices for
you should
content
be.
when they have it, when they have new stuff online that they want to push. Yeah. So I'm always like reposting those things when I see them. I don't know how many people see reposts on TikTok, but I'll repost everything that I'm in at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about the same as normal stuff. So
you want to look it up. But
I think
that's what I'm doing now. But I do everything
that sounds
in
awesome.
the field, and I do it. I'll just put my phone on a tripod, and I have to do it in not landscape, but like regular. So I always have to see what I'm doing.
9x16.
Yeah, I always have to see what I'm doing. So I always have to use the front-facing camera. So that's why I have a nicer phone. Plus, it's cool.
We know it's because you have Brak money. It's fine. You can count that. It's totally cool.
There's no such thing as Brak money. I don't have money.
I see
I'm lucky to be alive.
It's fine. We like to make fun of regular podcasters too, because podcasts have gotten so stuffy and just stupid, and everybody wants to sell you something, and they want to sell you this, this masterclass and all this crap. And it's like, all we want to sell you is a hat and a t-shirt and listen to our podcast for free. Like, that's really all we're here for.
I'll never tell anybody to, like and subscribe and all that stuff. I think that's stupid.
People know to do
maybe
that.
that's why I don't have as many
they're
followers as I do. But I don't feel like I have to keep. I was the one who, in on-air promotions, that hated making spots that said, "We'll be right back," and now back to this show, because I thought the audience isn't stupid. If
they're not. But here's the thing, Andy. We, as kids, like, what year were you born?
66.
Yeah, so you're like a generation ahead of us. So like we were born in 85, both of us, right? And so we'll be right back and hang on and all of those things. Like those are ingrained in our brain because everybody did it. And we honestly like those things. Yeah, we knew that the commercial was coming and we knew that you had to take a break and whatever. But the stuff they put around the "we'll be right back" is ingrained in us 90s kids' brains.
But my perspective when I was working on air was that's a waste of time. I can use that 5 or 10 seconds to do something stupid. So instead of saying, we'll be right back after this, you're just going to show some little clip of video. It's just like the most insane thing. And
which you guys did.
You're like, what was that? And I also, what was the show? Level Up. I made a promo for that show, and they were like, we're going to make this the open of the show. They didn't have an open for the show. And I was like, oh, well, that's flattering. So I made up the promo open. So yeah, it's just a weird, I always thought it was a waste of time. So like when you tell people to click and subscribe and all that
they
stuff,
know what to do at this point, right? This is not the beginning of the internet.
Yeah. People are going to know if they like you or whatever, they're going to follow you. And that's, I'll get,
the big red plus button kind of tells you you're supposed to do that.
Right. But I'll get like followers. My followers usually just trickle in. So it'll take me forever to get such and such. I had a lot of followers on X, but I left X because it was a cesspool of crap. So
yeah, we're not on X either.
It's been hard trying to get back into stuff. But I love Blue Sky because you become friends with a lot of different people in your interest category. So I'm friends with a few like horror director writers, a lot of comic book people. I've like had conversations with some of my favorite comic artists from when I was in college, and it always kills me, when they talk back to me because I'm like such a fan. And
well, dude, that's exactly what happened for us on this thing. Like I saw that and I didn't even realize it was you when you were like, no, you're wrong. I thought it was just some person telling me I was wrong. And that's exactly how we felt. Like, yeah, exactly. And I was like, holy crap, that's actually Andy. Like, hold the phones. Like, let's see. Holy smokes.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. We aren't on Blue Sky because the only reason we're not on Blue Sky is because the place we post all of our stuff from doesn't have it integrated. And so that's an extra step we'd have to take to put our stuff on Blue Sky. But, I mean, we're on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
But you're strictly on where you can promote your show and stuff.
And Blue Sky, we could do that there too.
Whatever.
I mean, we could definitely do that on Blue Sky.
I try and post to whenever I make something, I will post it to Blue Sky, Insta, TikTok, and Insta will automatically go to Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook was like the family and family friends site.
It used to be. It's not anymore.
And I used to like edit and censor whatever I did and put on Facebook.
Oh, really?
But recently, it's just like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, no, this guy, I think I counted one episode, the F word was in there, I don't even know, 37 times in an hour. It's like,
do it sometimes, let it out.
Every minute and a half, he's saying the F word, and I'm just like, holy smokes. But
there are some songs that I'll do where I won't put it on Facebook. What was it? Green Day's Fuck Off. That was a good one.
Facebook doesn't care.
I didn't put that one on, but it's on TikTok.
Yeah, several times where I'm running a segment and it's like, we're probably not going to be able to use this, but let's see what happens. And
yeah, no,
it doesn't end up well. Like we just end up shutting down the whole
segment. I think in this day and age, I don't care what family and church friends think because
you can't.
Those that support me won't care anyway. So.
Yeah, there's people that were actually texting Mike like, that's not how you talk. And it's like, bro, this is how I've talked for the last 10 years. Like, you don't have any idea who I actually am.
Right.
It's crazy.
But I tend to go a lot more political lately too. So
really,
I used to
stir
really
people up.
I used to really watch what I would say, but now it's just like kind of a, hey, you know what? If you want to not, if you want to, cut me out of your life because of how I believe, because you're MAGA or whatever, then fine with me. That's, we can all like,
Brak has a MAGA and it's just saying the most off the wall shit. Or maybe it seems off the wall, but it's not.
It's totally real.
Just Brak.
No.
No, he said no. That'll ruin things. The thing, I've always thought that, like, not like when people say you can't talk about religion and politics, it's like, this is why we are at the place we're at today, and this is probably way more than we thought we'd get into today. But this is like we should talk about those things. We should talk about how I feel politically and what I think about politics, because that's the only way anybody's going to know how I feel about it. And it's the only way that anybody's mind can be changed. Not that I'm trying to change people's minds about how I feel, but if there is somebody that's on the fence and what I say would help them understand better, then why would I not say it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I think part of me is like, you know what? I just want this bullshit to end, and I want us to live in a normal society again. If we ever lived in a normal society, I want.
Yeah, was it ever normal? That's the question.
It wasn't, but I still am very compassionate about wanting people to be treated fairly. I want, people to stop villainizing other people. And all of that. And I think the weird thing is that I could just go completely atheist and go crazy, which I'm not. But, if I say one thing that's, pro-trans people, then people just lose their fucking minds. And I can't stand that. So.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, just about this whole cancel culture and how, there for a while, you couldn't say anything without being canceled, right? And so I think that's better now. And I think what we kind of decided is, like, Dave Chappelle kind of fixed that, because he's such a big star, and he came in and he said, no, screw that. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And you're either going to laugh at it because you know it's a joke, or you're going to vibe with it because you know it's real. And those are the only two things that are going to happen. And it's like, that's kind of how it needs to be. Like, understand that there's jokes and then there's real stuff. And jokes, you should be able to say whatever you want to say as a joke, and it be okay.
To a point.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be super racist. I get it.
I helped host a night of comedy in Columbus. It was like new comics and stuff. So this one of the first guys that gets up, he's like over 60. I don't know what he was thinking. He just throughout his set, he said the N-word.
Oh no.
12 times.
Oh no.
Incidentally, he's never working in Ohio again. But oh my gosh, the whole, like, I'm just like, the first few times I'm like audibly saying, he said it again. Stop saying it. And
at that
the
point,
whole
like,
audience, you can just tell her, like,
who has the hook? Whose job is it to have the hook and pull him off of the stage with the hook at that point?
I don't know why we didn't come to physical blows and shove him off stage. Yeah, no,
but there is a point. Yes, I agree. There is a point, but jokes are jokes, all right? Like, I somehow got on this Kill Tony thing on TikTok. Like, Kill Tony's everywhere, it seems like. And maybe you guys haven't seen it, but, like, that's just, there's so much funny stuff on there.
No, there isn't.
I think it's funny.
He's terrible. No, he's terrible.
Him himself, yes, he is terrible. I don't think he's funny, but the people that he has, he's a horrible person.
Casey Rocket, like, I love Casey Rocket because he's just wild. He's all over the place.
Like Shane Gillis, I think Shane Gillis is funny. Andy, do you not think Shane Gillis is funny?
You say to a point, And I say, I have done enough comedy on regular nights, even not just amateur nights, but I've done comedy on regular nights where I feel like I get up and I have to give the audience a reprieve from all of the dick jokes that they've had to sit through for like an hour and a half. And
Yeah.
it's just, I'm not old fashioned, it has its place, but most people will just do it for the shock laugh. And I just hate that because it's a
It isn't even
different
shocking
laugh.
anymore, and isn't even funny anymore.
It's a different, it's a different laugh than you get when you're just really screwing with people's heads.
It's not a belly laugh. It's like a laugh because I'm at a comedy show and I'm supposed to laugh. But it's not like a laugh like that was actually funny.
Right. Yeah, it's not something you're going to go home and quote. He talked about drinking sperm. It's not you're not going to, you're not going to revisit that the next day.
Brak says it's hilarious.
No.
Brak can say whatever he wants and he gets the
Well,
pass.
you know what? 100%. He can, but he won't.
He won't. He has more morals than that.
I found that out in when some of the first Comic-Cons we ever did, Brak could say anything. He could make fun of, the Guar guys going through who look like they're going to kill everybody. And you're just going, you're stupid. And everybody's like, my favorite thing was making a Klingon break character. Because I would just say something in Klingon as Brak. No, stupid. And they would just go like, oh, it's really funny. And then break their little like Klingon their Klingon character.
Dude, that's so funny.
That's a gift. That really is. That's crazy.
So yeah.
It doesn't even feel like real life right now, to be honest.
It does not. I agree. But it's been so fun talking to you. I hope we get to do it again because you've been awesome.
Thank you. And do some damn research.
I know, right? I did. That's the thing. Like, I did research on this, and the research I did was wrong. Man. So I apologize. We did not mean to do anything on purpose to dishonor the name of Brak or Space Ghost or Andy Merrill. We were just trying to do our dumb little podcast, and it broke bad for a minute.
Yep. Sure did.
Sure did. But it worked out for us, so hey, that's the way it goes.
There she is.
Where's my fucking dog? Out of nowhere.
No, she just keeps nudging me. Like every time I
have
talk,
to go outside, bro.
That's not every time I talk when it's not to her, she thinks I'm talking to her. She's always like nudging my leg or something.
What is she? Ooh. She looks like
she's a mini
Australian
Aussie,
Shepherd.
She has an air tag on because she likes to escape.
Dude, I have a regular Aussie that looks just like her, and she's full sized. She's awesome.
No, I went to a con in Amarillo, and somebody had a toy one who was even smaller. I was like, "Where'd you get that?"
I need it.
Yeah, Australian Shepherds are the best. Are they actually related to Aussies, or are they just?
Oh yeah, like she is. She's always trying to herd things.
She's super smart.
She's too smart for her own good.
Yeah, my Australian Shepherd, dude, she is the smartest dog ever, and she herds our kids. She just loves our kids. She's always jumping. Like, we have a 6-foot privacy fence. She climbs that freaking thing just to get out she can play with the kids when they're out in the backyard. Yeah,
she will. Well, when we were in the old place, I lived above my mom taking care of her. Whenever I would leave her alone with my mom, she would just try and get out and find where I was. And here I was 5 states away doing a Comic-Con.
Yeah, you're in New York.
I have no doubt
she's in
she
Atlanta.
Would, like, sniff me out and find me in Texas or something.
Like Carmen San Diego.
That's crazy.
Hi, I'm Andy Merrill, and I'd never listen to the Cartridge and Quest podcast because, well, they don't get stuff right.
Awesome.
They just podcast on instinct and don't fucking care about research.